What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Gravity the Beast. Welcome back to the Big Cap. No bullshit, just conversations about passions, philosophies, and perspectives. You already know, got the team here with me today. Go ahead.
Your co-host, Twan, neighborhood real nigga. Back nigga, again. Always out here. You already know.
Rich Tone in the building, you know what I mean?
Right.
What's going on, y'all? It's Haley.
Right.
What's up, Sean?
Word. All right, so again, we're continuing down the rational male wormhole, as I call it, right? And we're learning more and more about these different things, getting different takes from different people who listen to it, who might have not been exposed to this type of thought processing prior, or philosophy, however you want to term it, right?
Right.
So we just listened to another section of the mythology part, right? About 25 minutes in, I believe, for those who want to watch, 25 minutes in at 1.5 times speed on Audible, right? Rational Male, Robo Tomasi. So within this, it digs into two things, but the very first thing was the idea of the biological clock for women. And I'd rather have the woman here say, what are your thoughts on the biological clock? Before I elaborate and go on my rants, how I do.
I think they definitely put an emphasis on women to have kids sooner rather than later. And it's hard, like...
It's hard?
Yeah, it's hard. I don't know. It's hard because there's so many things now that if you're not taking care of your body, it's even worse, like as you get older.
Yeah.
So I think there is a lot of pressure on women to have kids, but I mean, shit is set up different now. You know what I mean? Like everybody's focus is different. I feel like there's more of a focus on like having money and like and trying to build a foundation so that you're set up to have kids and to bring kids into the world, because that's a big responsibility.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, I feel like there's not as much of a like an emphasis on trying to have kids as soon as possible. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll get deeper into that. So, what's your thoughts on it, on what we heard?
So on the whole, like, emphasis part, I believe there is an emphasis on women getting pregnant just because of, like, you know, of us seeing, you know, on Instagram, there's a 22-year-old woman with 2 children or one child. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And there's multiple. And I'm going to have to disagree with Haley where she said there's where you have to like build a foundation. Now, I feel as towards like females don't want a foundation like right now. Like they just want this child. Like that's just what they want. Like one day they just wake up and say like, I want a child. Not really, but like.
It's the men that have to build the foundation.
It's just like,
It's the men that have to build the foundation.
Yeah.
Well, but let them finish though. Like I want everybody to get their thoughts out. You'll go last after all the guests, and then we can get into it because I do want to touch on what you said, and I do feel where you coming from. I might disagree, but I want to like hear you finish, and then we can get into it. So you feel as though like there isn't necessarily an expectation for a foundation in women, and that they just like.
I'm just saying nowadays.
Nowadays, yeah.
Because I say nowadays is only because we have social media, and social media is pushing all this like, oh, we don't need this, we don't need men, we don't need this. But at the same time, they're saying, oh, like sit on your back and just like mooch on the men, and I see that low key.
Okay,
you feel me? Like I pick up on the things like it's just social media shit. Not
okay. All right. So Sean, what are your thoughts?
The clock is real.
Get closer to the mic.
I said the clock is real, bro.
Uh-huh.
Like I gotta like when you sit back and you really think about it, the older you get, the less chances you are to have a kid.
Uh-huh.
You feel me? That's that. I mean, like it's not something you can sleep on. You feel me? Everybody likes to eat out. Everybody likes to drink. You feel me? Mm-hmm. In a society where nobody is taking care of themselves, your best chances of having a kid are when you're younger. And I mean, think of it as like, you feel me? I'm not saying you need a family, but it's definitely easier with a family. I, in a relationship with a woman that is 30 years old, I hear it all the time that she's ready to have a kid. You feel me? And she's 5 years older than me. You feel me? I'm 25 right now. She's 30. She feels that clock. You feel me? I'm not saying we live the healthiest lifestyle. You feel me? Like we smoke. You feel me? We like to eat out. You feel me? I work at the bars. You feel me? So that tells you where our Friday and Saturday is. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, so when I say we're pressed on the clock, you feel me? Like, and I'm not trying to put our personal business out there, but like, I mean, it's a real thing. You feel me? 30. That number that you just heard, 30% of women at 30%.
Yeah. Well,
30% of women at 30 years old
are able to have a baby on the first try.
Yeah. On the first, I mean, you gotta think like that's scary.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, that's almost disheartening scary.
Yeah. But then how many women do you think are like conscious of that prior to hitting that age?
And you know what? I think that's a number that needs to get out more. You feel me? I just heard that number, bro, and I'm sitting here thinking like, damn, I gotta text Brandy, tell her like, yo, yo, get the candles ready. Like, I'm like 30%. I'm like, yo, I'm 30%. I'm like,
talking to the mic, but yeah,
I'm like, oh my god, 30%. She's 30, like, bro, she's about to be 31. I'm about to be 26. God knows what my number is.
Right.
You see where I'm at in my life.
Men can have children up until their 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're healthy, you can even like prolong that.
See, you know what? That gives me hope.
We're able to
look. That made me feel better. But God knows, like, you feel me? I'm in a relationship. I'm here for my partner too. You feel me? Like that 30% just had me shook for our chances. You feel me? Not my chances, but our chances. Mm-hmm. So where I'm at, the clock is scary, but I also, you feel me? Like, I understand where he's coming from. There's a lot of pressure on the man, you feel me? Okay. I'm not ready, but in a relationship, you feel me? 30%, nigga, I'm about to get ready. You feel me? Financially, we're getting there. You feel me? I mean, like, we have a crib, we have some dogs, we got 2 cars, you feel me? I mean, like, we're not bad, but baby-wise, financially, you feel me?
That's an extra bill that might
falls on me. You feel me? Like, I mean, like, if my baby's struggling to eat, we gotta go get food stamps. I gotta reach out to some people. You feel me? Mm-hmm. I feel like I get looked at weird as a man. You feel me? Like, as a dude, let's be honest, you're supposed to provide.
Right.
We all know the rules sitting here at this table. If you ain't providing for your family, if your girl, I'm not saying your girl can't bring in more money than you. God knows, look, if she got that degree, you feel me, working.
Though. I doubt that would be a successful relationship.
You know what? You know what? That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
But if your girl's bringing in more money than you, respectively,
you
at least have to be working.
Well, no, I'm saying you still got. I'm saying if like, let's say this, right? If a guy's in a relationship with a girl and he wants a long-term relationship, well, I feel like as the man, you should be the provider for your family, right?
I feel like
if just to finish, if your woman does make more than you, that's cool, and she can make her own decisions on how she spend her money. But at the end of the day, you're still the man, and you still need to provide. If your girl makes double what you make, that doesn't change the fact that you should be taking care of everything. I mean, it might be fucked up. It might be a lot of extra pressure on the dude.
And that's right.
But that's the reality of it. Yeah.
I 100% feel that. You feel me? It's like I see dudes out here holding down the house while their girl's going to school.
Yeah.
Where do you think you really think she's gonna make less than you? And she sat down getting.
That's a different scenario. And honestly,
you know what? That's a different scenario.
I got different feelings on that because that's a whole nother.
You know what? I've seen it play out wrong. Yeah. I've seen it play out wrong, but I've also seen it play out good, where dudes hold it down for a certain time. Right.
So, look, I don't want to get too far off the biological clock, but I will say this, and we can continue this biological clock part because I want to comment on both of what y'all thoughts. My personal opinion on this is, right, men go for a woman off of how they feel about them, like how they look. Mm-hmm. Men is going to approach women based on how much they want to have sex with that woman. Women will approach men based on the level of value she perceives him to be. Whether or not, and by approach, I don't necessarily even mean like literally walk up to an approach, but by approach, I mean like let within her own circle. Like a guy most of the time is going to be the one who approaches. So if a guy approaches a woman and the woman lets him in, it's because of how she perceived his value to be. Women go for a higher value, approach. approach for higher value, or by approach I mean let in for higher value, whereas guys approach based on level of sexual value, right? So when we understand that, it just makes it look a little different. You know what I mean? We want different things. Dudes is going to go after chicks simply because they want to smash. At that point, what value does the woman hold, right? Because we want sex off rip. What value does that woman hold to make you want her after you have sex with her?
Right.
But the woman only had sex with you because of her perception of your value off rip, right?
But I feel like
But hold up, but all right. So you don't gotta agree with me when I say right. I just meant right.
Okay,
more so
okay,
as in,
okay,
like,
okay.
you follow what I'm saying so far. So my whole point of that is, as women tend to be surrounded by different levels of men, and she interacts with different levels of men, she sees things within different men. She sees what she values. She sees what she doesn't like. She sees a guy that she does value. She wants that man. She sees the guy she doesn't value. She doesn't really think twice about that man. The higher value you are, the more she's going to appreciate you, and you can help her raise her value. But the higher value of men she is surrounded by, the more she has to compare you to, and the more chances are she'll find something better. That's not saying better as in you be insecure about where you are, but it's like thought processes like that would make a guy say, I don't want you to have an Instagram. I don't want you going to the club. I don't want you doing X, Y, and Z. It's not to say I'm insecure. It's to understand that life happens. It's rare that you'll find a millionaire, but if you did, and he was just like me, but just had more ability to provide, you might feel a way towards him. It's just understanding certain ways we move. So, like, when it comes to the guy helping his girl, like, hold down the house while she go to school, that's cool and that's admirable, because that guy is probably thinking, like, yo, I'm trying to help my girl. But the reality of that situation is, as you're helping your girl, you're increasing your chances of losing her in that way. And you're helping her make more money where that doesn't matter to you. You should be paying for everything already. So what is the point of doing that? You see where I'm getting? If you're holding it down, why aren't you in school? Why ain't you trying to make more money?
You're at work.
No, but I'm saying like just within that situation.
Like, you should also be elevating
most
yourself.
of these niggas
Yeah.
When you focus on elevating your girl, it's not to say don't. I'm not saying that. But when you focus on that without elevating yourself, that's detrimental to the relationship.
Absolutely.
most of these males that females be dating are
You
broke.
got the lighter, bro.
Broke as hell. Niggas don't got cars. Niggas don't got shit to their name. Niggas don't got shit to their name. I'm talking about, there's no reason why I'm 22 having more than a nigga that's 40. You feel me?
I agree with you.
No
But
reason.
a
Like,
lot of
niggas-
make bad
niggas-
decisions.
Niggas don't be having shit to their name.
When life gets hard, it get hard.
It gets
And
real
happens
hard.
in threes.
Oh, yes, it does.
Yo, when life
Yes,
get
it
hard,
does.
I lost 2 cars. 2 cars in a month. My credit took 200, two hits.
Talking to the face to
My
mic.
credit took 100-point hits in 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, when life get hard, I can see how a nigga hit the ground quick. I'll say
I can see that too, but at a certain point in time, you know what I mean, you gotta get your shit together. There's no reason, you feel me?
That is
We
fact.
talking about in
you don't want
like
a nigga that don't know how to
30
get
and
back
40s.
up. You
We
don't
talking
want
about
a nigga that
30
don't
and
know how to get
40s.
back
You
up.
feel me? We ain't talking about no regular ass. You feel me?
but all right. So, Pete, right? The only reason I went on that tangent is because you brought up the whole guy helping the girl through school, which, like, I did my best to explain. both
Right,
sides.
yeah, nah, look, I
It's not
definitely
to say
feel you.
don't hold it down for your girl to elevate, but if you're a man making $60,000 a year, and you got a girl who doesn't make that, and everything's cool, it's like y'all okay, y'all comfortable, and you're comfortable at your job. If you're helping her get a job that makes $80,000 a year when you're not focused on you raising your shit to 80, 100, then that's going to be detrimental long term. If you're not on a grind for more and she wants more, it's not going to work. So I just needed to point that out, right? Because a lot of dudes get like, they really be like, yo, I love this girl and I'm going to help her through school and through college and whatever she wants. She want to get a new degree. Yeah, that's my girl. Everything is cool. We got kids together. It's fire. Like, yeah, I make $90,000 a year. I could take care of the family. Everything's cool. She make 60, but I don't worry about her bread. I got it. She want to get this new degree, and now she can make 120. Yeah, I don't care. Like, yeah, it's better for the family. And then she gets that job. Then she's around other dudes who might have better personality.
Make 150, make 200.
But not even just that. They might have more experience than you. They might have just been to different places, have different stories, be a more well-rounded person at a higher level. And she sees that. She compares that to you, and her attraction to you weakens, and she has more options now. And that's not like fucked up. It's the way life works. That's nature. That's why if you're focused on bettering your girl and not yourself, like, and then let's be real about it. I want you to continue to comment on it. If you with a dude, if a woman is with a dude and he's bettering herself, you don't need to focus on bettering her. She gonna better herself.
Isolate.
She gonna be like, oh, I see my man doing X, Y, and Z.
You got to think of like a common scenario around us. A girl is with a construction worker. That nigga has a house. He has a truck.
Okay.
She's going to nursing school. He's holding down the truck in the house while she's going to nursing school. Yeah. When she goes to nursing school, she now makes more money than him.
Right.
Now what?
The chances of that relationship lasting long term without the construction worker becoming a construction business owner is low. Like, it's just not gonna. Most likely, she's gonna become a nurse. She's gonna make more money. She's working hard hours, and when she's not working hard hours, she's thinking about that other dude she saw at work that had more money than her husband, that was probably cooler, had a more interesting life, and it's just gonna be what it is. I mean, don't get mad at that. Don't get bitter. Get better, bro.
I think you gotta look at the type of female though.
No, it's not the type of female, because women are different, but women share certain things in common. It's just that simple, just like men,
Haley,
bro.
I definitely want your opinion on
it. How do you feel?
Think?
I feel like you've been agreeing.
So
I definitely want your opinion on this.
So I definitely agree with what you said. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like if I'm doing something, then that's great, yes. And if you support me, that's great, yes. But you need to also be doing something to elevate yourself, like, because I'm gonna look at you like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, as a woman, like, I agree. I feel like the man should be the provider. That's just how I was brought up. Like, I feel like the man should be the provider of the family and stuff like that. Like, yeah, but now, I mean, obviously, there's more of a emphasis on both of the
50,
parties
50.
having their shit together, right?
I feel like there's more of an emphasis on the man of catch up at that point.
Well, yeah. Hold on.
Not necessarily catch up, but like, if I'm doing good, then I want my significant other to be doing well also. Like, I don't want to be like, I don't want to feel like I'm carrying extra weight. Like, let
me ask you a question real quick. Not to cut you off, but just to comment on what you're saying. What's more important, your man to rise up or your man to help you rise up?
No, I would think as individuals we should both be elevating. Like,
no, but I mean,
because we can,
for a relationship.
Yeah, like 49, 50. I mean, like,
listen. Look, what is more important, right? For your man to help you rise up, or for your man himself to rise up?
Himself, because if he can't, that's great if he's helping me, but I can help myself. Like, if he's gonna become dead weight, like, if he's not helping himself, you know what I mean?
Right. So would you agree that it would be more for a relationship, right? It would be better for the man himself to figure out how to make more money than to help his woman make more money?
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why you shouldn't focus on paying for your girl to go through school. I mean, if you just went to school yourself, she's probably not going to leave because you're going to be making more money anyway.
Right.
It's like,
if she's thinking about the long term, if she's the one that, you know what I mean, you're supposed to be with her in the long term anyway, she's going to be thinking about it like that as well. Like, she's going to, yeah. Yeah,
and that's real. It's like, you need to focus on you. Now back onto the original thing that we were talking about with the biological clock, right? So you were saying that you felt as though, and correct me if I'm wrong, that society nowadays is kind of implying that you should focus on building your own foundation before you can have children over relying on trusting a man. I feel like that is true, right? I feel like a lot of what society is teaching us nowadays is to, well, especially women. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of things has changed, but for men, I feel like most things have maintained to a certain extent. Right? Like men still understand that we're the providers, where we should be the providers, right? Even though they're starting to like get us to get along with this whole 50-50 thing, and then like think about it. Have you ever has the idea of a 50-50 partnership in a marriage been around prior to divorce rates being at 50%? No. Like as soon as this whole 50, it's 50-50, because with a 50-50 you get a 50% divorce rate. It don't work like that. A man has to be a man. like a man has to be the provider of the family to some extent. It's not to say that your wife completely does nothing, and I feel like a lot of women, we could comment on this too. This was a whole other pod, but we could bring up this topic again. I feel like a lot of women look down on the role of a housewife. They simplify it to a term that they make it seem disrespectful, demeaning, like you're less than. Where I'm like, do you understand how much work it is raising children? Do you understand how much work it is to maintain a household? Like, even if I were to simplify it to the most basic, to wake up, get kids ready for school, to clean a house, to cook breakfast, to go grocery shopping, do whatever. It's going to be a lot of other shit to do, right? Maybe you got a doctor's appointment. Maybe you're setting up a doctor's appointment. This is assuming you have no other job.
You got to keep everybody.
You got to pick the kids up for school. You got to do. Is that not a lot of work? And I've heard a lot of women say, I don't want to be a single mom because I'll be bored.
I think that's a pride thing. I definitely think that's a pride thing, because a lot of women are so like hell bent on like, oh, I need to build a career and stuff like that. And but I mean, if the right person came along and offered the opportunity to be a housewife, they would take it if it was the right person.
You know, I agree with you 100%. But I actually, like, the first ever video on this channel was with a friend of mine, Melissa, right? And she might not necessarily be your average girl, but I consider her to be average, especially for around here, right? So with that conversation, I asked her if you would like I said, most men, if given the chance, would like to be able to provide their girl with the opportunity not to work. Most men, if they have a family and kids, I would love to be able to provide my woman with the opportunity to say, hey, babe, I got it. You don't have to work. We got kids. You can stay home. Like, everything is good around here. You do your part. I do mine. If I could do that, I would. And most men want that. And then I also said most women do not want to be obligated to work after having children. Most women would love the opportunity to stay with the kids for the first few years, teach them. Some would like to homeschool. Some would like all these different things. And it just is what it is. It's nothing wrong with that. We have natural roles. We've developed and evolved in certain ways, and this is what we are right now. But she said she would want to work. And then she went into discussing like how she would be bored, and she's just been a person to always work, and she just like knows that she will never be able to not work, so she just doesn't think about things that way. And then as we continue into the conversation, I look at it more of a lack of trust in men. It's a lack of trust in the fact, like, in the ability to find a partner. Like, I feel like a lot of women, especially in the way we're being taught, right? They might feel as though they focus on other things. Like, I wrote this down. Like, so when we look at it and we say, well, I got it. But when we say 30 years, right? 30 years old and up, the chances of having a baby on the first time is 30%. Then it's like, okay, well, why is it that we're being taught this? I mean, it definitely is manipulation. Like on a government side, on a society side, on just publicity and media side, it's manipulation. And then we look further and we say, like, all right, wanting a family, but then you focus on your career. Even though your chances of having a family would be better if you had it younger instead of focusing on a career. Then we move forward when we say physical prime versus societal prime, right? Your physical prime is when you're younger, but society tells you it's okay to wait. So then society is saying, this is your prime. This is when you can do it. This is when you should do it. Have fun. Do this. whereas physically, like, you know when your prime actually is. And then the last one is for the guys, right? Especially when it came into what we just listened to, because at first we went into the whole idea of the biological clock. But then from the biological clock, we go into guys understanding to have game, have looks, and have money, right? Like, essentially. And have two, but it's better to have all three. The way I take that, especially with the emphasis on looks, is don't be a beta male provider. Don't let society prepare you to be a beta male provider. What that means is, if you were the type to not really get women when you were younger, and I want use your opinion specifically on this, right? If you were not the type of guy to get women when you were younger, right? But you were the type of guy to work on yourself. You got some money, you got a good job, you doing whatever, right? Everything is cool. Then you notice suddenly all the women that didn't want you when you were younger want you now, right? What changed? Does your personality change? What experiences have you gone through? How have you learned to interact with women? You had no success. The only thing that changed is monetary. At that point, it's not out of the normal for you to get more women attention, simply off of being higher value financially, right? But when we talk about women who probably knew you prior, and you realize that not much within yourself has really changed, essentially, at that point, you got to understand that you're probably being looked at as a beta male provider. You're being looked at as the guy who doesn't necessarily make the bells ring in your female. You don't necessarily like. I'll keep it a butt. Like you don't really make her wet. She's fucking you for provision. She just trying to get a husband and some kids. Like, she don't really love you, but she don't want to be lonely. So you get stuck in that position. If you don't focus on being a well-rounded person, this goes back into nature. A guy will be unattracted to a girl and be with her and have kids with her because he couldn't get no other pussy. A woman will get with a dude simply because he can take care of her, even though she doesn't really feel that way. She'll just make him happy to provide for herself. This isn't something to look at either sex for and say you're fucked up. It's just to understand how we naturally move. We want security as human beings. Guys want sex. They'll get it where they can. Women want provisioning. They'll get it where they can. It's just that simple to understand. Now, what are your thoughts on that?
I agree with that. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's fair. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's real. Like, a lot of people get caught up in that. It's like, I feel as though, like, my overall goals is to get to a certain place financially, right? And to accomplish certain goals, right? Mm-hmm. Cool. But I understand that that only matters once I accomplish something. Until then, I mean, yeah, some women might have faith in a man. Some women might wait and, like, say he's going to make it something of himself. I believe in it, so I'm going to stick with him. But to expect that is dumb. Like, I mean, look, hopefully you find that. You can't expect that, you know? And a lot of dudes get caught up. Like, oh, I thought she loved me, bro. She said X, Y, and Z, but then whatever. And if it doesn't work out, if a guy leaves a woman, it's because she wasn't doing what she had to do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And if a woman leaves a guy, it's because he wasn't doing what he had to do. It's just that simple. What we have to do for each other is different, but what we provide is still important. And it just is what it is right there. What's some of y'all thoughts? Twan, we'll also go with you first. Yeah.
I guess how I view the whole thing, right?
Uh-huh.
It's just another example of dealing with yourself. Because at the end of the day, women wait at the finish line. Women pick the best provider. If we're talking about provisioning, yes, women want the nigga who has the highest prospects of taking care of her. That's why when you make less, you're less attractive. And it's like women do not want to be the point and the most important thing in a man's life. She wants to be a part of a man that has a life.
Yeah, the life worth being a part of. Sean, what's your thoughts?
I mean,
I get the feeling that you've heard some shit that you probably never thought about, and you just still processing.
Not even that. I'm just like, damn. Like, every time I hear it, you feel me? All you can be like, as a dude, you're like, damn. You feel me? Like, all I can do is make more money. You feel me? Like, Honestly.
But it's not even just financially, right? Like, let's say you, me knowing you, right? I would say that you have the two, right? You have, well, I would say you have a balance out of all three. Let me put it there. You've always been somebody who worked hard, so you don't necessarily overspend. So you can spend money when you feel like it. So if you're dealing with a woman, you might get certain energy based on finances, right?
All right.
You have experiences. You're a good talker, so you might have certain experience, like as far as game goes, just being able to use your mouth to get what you want, right? So that 2 out of 3 right there could get you certain experiences off rip. Now after that, you can make more money. You can learn game. You can make yourself a fucking bodybuilder and get ripped as shit. All these different things can increase your chances. It's not so much to focus on one aspect and to get lost in it. It's to focus on being the best you. Like, what is the best version of you? Like, I know the best version of me right now is making bread, got a fucking 6-pack, and done been to like every country in Africa. Like that's the best me. Like the best me done fucking stood atop the Eiffel Tower, shirtless, with a bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the best version of me. Become the best version of yourself. That's what I'm.
And like in the last part, I was like, women fight for themselves and men fight for women. Like men put women on a higher pedestal than themselves. So like, if you want to be the best version of you, say you could go to this college. It has the best program that you need, this, that, and the third. But you refuse to go to this college because your girl cannot get in this college. So you'll sacrifice that opportunity to better yourself and become the best version of yourself to maintain this relationship that may or may not work out.
So I have a question real quick. Yeah. Would any of y'all be comfortable with the idea of a stay-at-home dad?
That's unnatural. And it's a reason why those relationships don't necessarily.
That sounds stressful.
That is a question. Are any of y'all comfortable with the idea of a stay-at-home dad? Would any of y'all take? And I don't want to say the lesser role because it's a lot of work. But
my little brother would love to be a stay-at-home dad. He's okay with that idea. He purposefully only tries to mess with wealthy white women.
And look,
out of his mouth, that's a quote. That is a quote.
And look, and here's my thing: are any of y'all okay with the idea of a stay-at-home dad?
Hell no.
So all of y'all are okay with a man being more than 50-50?
Yeah.
Honestly, statistically speaking, relationships when it comes to
hold on. For me, I always say it's 50-50 until marriage or a child is in my life. Now, what I mean by that is like, you gotta have your shit together, and I gotta have my shit together. Like, you feel me? I can't just like, you feel me? Like, I don't know. It's just that.
I'm with you there, but I don't know. I feel real strongly.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me finish this.
Yeah.
So, say you have a girl, right? But that girl, no matter how long you've been with her, no matter if you have marriage or this is besides marriage or a child, she can find another nigga next week,
right?
That makes more than you.
I mean, if you're married or you have a kid, that still applies.
Yeah, it still applies, but your life is like more tied.
I mean, for you, and that I feel like that's where the issue comes, right? Because we had a different episode about this, talking about how men are the true romantics, right? Because men don't necessarily understand how love works, how women love, and how we think about it differently based on us just being different on a base level, right? Because a guy is going to look at a woman he has kids with or he's married to, and he's valuing her high because he put her in that position. I gave you a child, I gave you a ring. You're going to look at her and be like, yo, even if we ever break up, I still hold you to a certain place because of everything that we've been through. That's only because of how much you valued her. Whereas with women, if a woman divorces a guy, regardless of what the issue is, right? Let's say just a woman is divorced and she finds a better nigga, she probably don't give a fuck about that. Like, I mean, if the nigga is, it's different if you just got another one of the same and you like might go back and forth in your head thinking about shit I had left. But like, if you genuinely have a better nigga, you're like not thinking about that probably as a woman. I can't speak for women, but I'm just assuming, right? And like, I want your opinion. I'm saying if a woman were to leave, I'm not saying that you didn't go through everything you went through. Sure, there's a certain amount of sentimental value, but if you value somebody higher, you don't really think back to people that you value less, especially when the experiences are better with what you have.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. So within that, it just is what it is. Where a guy, it's not necessarily about how much I valued you. It's about like I feel like guys get more emotional when it comes to that than women. You might be like, yo, I used to like, yo, we've been through this and we've been through that, and sure, but why?
I feel like it's just because men are simpler. Like,
yeah.
For example, if a man makes $1 million a year, he could scoop up a bad bitch that work at McDonald's.
Don't hit the thing.
But if a woman makes $1 million a year, most likely she would probably want a nigga who makes at least 4. She wants somebody higher than her, as opposed to
or at least at least an equal, at least around the same level. But
it
we
doesn't
both
matter
gotta
if-
be
I would
elevating at the
disagree.
same time.
I would say, like, I'm not saying that you don't necessarily mean equal, but I feel like for women, equal is temporary. By that, if you don't rise up to a certain point, it's conditional. What's your thoughts on that?
I guess it just depends. I guess it depends on where y'all are at in the process and if you plan on doing anything else with yourself and if she's done doing what she needs to do for herself, and you know what I mean? If she's cool where she's at, she's definitely going to need you to do something at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to rise up.
Yeah.
So, like, if it's equal and you don't rise up, it probably won't last long term. You say yeah?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of what I meant as far as the potential. It's like the equal is temporary.
Yeah.
You have to rise up. You can't just stay the same. If you're not great enough value, then it's endless. I mean, not to say that like negatively, because like men are going to want things endlessly anyway. You know, we're going to always want variety. We're going to always want to become stronger. We're going to always want to be the best. We just got to understand that when we're dealing with women, it's the same thing. I mean, you can't just think that women is going to be the only thing in life that you could just win and it's over with. Like, no, nigga, you get a title, you got to fight for that shit. It's not to say fight for women. It's just to say you got to fight for your life. What type of life you want? You want a successful relationship? You want to have options? Well, you got to constantly get better. There's no such thing as I won the race, so I'm the champion forever. Nah, you the champion of 2021. Next year it's another race. Then it's another one. And it's another one. It's never done. You're going to have to keep racing. You're going to have to stay healthy. You're going to have to stay fit. You're going to have to get faster.
And it just depends on what you want for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, long term. Where you see yourself.
What you're saying is that a man consistently has to bring in more than 50%.
Yeah.
At least 60.
Yeah, 60.
He
Probably,
60's fair. 60's fair.
Like 60. Like,
Yeah,
even
60's
that
fair.
much. Like, I feel like you should be the main provider. Like, the way I kind of look at it, and this is where it's interesting for me, right? Because I might be like in my ideal world, I got everything. You don't got to worry about shit. You going to have to make sure you hold up your end. You know what I mean? Like, I look at it like this. If I got a girl that I value, and like this is like really like, yo, I feel like she's different from other women. She's helpful in my life. I could rely on her for certain things. She gives me benefit outside of sex, which is still expected, but outside of that, if I feel like the value's high, yeah, I got you with everything. You ain't got to do shit except for maintain the home. You could just chill. If I come home, house clean, food ready, kids got their homework done, everything straight, you know, yeah, like what the fuck? I don't need nothing. You just gotta make sure you good. I'll make sure you get what you want. If you like, but then not even just on that base level, because for me personally, with what I want to do in my life, I need a little bit more. I would like it if maybe you were a graphic designer, maybe you got
At
like
least
maybe
some
you were an
kind of
accountant.
entrepreneur.
Nah, not even an entrepreneur, because I feel like I'm gonna handle that side. It's about like I would rather date an accountant than an entrepreneur.
Really?
Yeah, personally, because if I'm in a relationship with an accountant, I know my money and my books is going to be right. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
be the
fair.
entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I'm going to handle the businesses. You handle the numbers. You make sure all the papers straight. I'm
Yeah.
gonna bring it in. You
Yeah.
sort through it. That it is like, and then we got
Yeah.
that balance there. Or maybe you're a graphic designer. I'm like I said, I'm still gonna be
Yeah.
the entrepreneur. You come up with I'm gonna explain some shit. You come up with the design. You bring it up. Now we got T-shirts. I'm bringing shit in for the family.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm looking for more than just clean the house. I don't need a maid.
Yeah.
Like that, but like some of those like qualities is just normal housewife shit. When you get to that level, the level I aspire to be personally, you like that's simpler. You know, I'm not expecting my wife to clean a mansion by herself. It's like if you can benefit me in another way to where we elevate, you understand that I'm the man, I lead the family, and you are my woman, I'm your man, we together, we build, this is our family, I'm the head of it, and you are making sure that everything is good, I'm making sure that everything is good. Success.
Absolutely.
Success. Like, that's it. You could generations.
Absolutely.
With the like, you build your family right, that shit'll go for generations. Pass that wealth along.
I guess I feel like
kinda
it's the
going on with what
illusion.
I'm
Hold on.
saying.
I feel like it's the illusion of equality that got niggas fucked up. Because at the end of the day, even in human nature, there's always a hierarchy to shit. There's always a teacher-student. There's a president of one country, a CEO of one corporation.
There's always a bum and a boss.
Yeah, and it's like people. It's like human beings are respond to authority. Like if a nigga came up to you in a whole police outfit, you would never question if he was police or not. Most niggas will automatically comply because of the authority that represents.
Yeah.
And it is shown that women do not like to be the lead or the authority in the relationship. They do not like to be able to ones to make all the decisions. They don't want to be the breadwinner. They just don't like it. They don't find it attractive.
I mean, it's not their natural role either. It's like the man gotta like you can't be a man and
But it's
just,
like, that's the
push
point.
out of your responsibilities. Like nigga, you got a role to do as a man. Like women are well,
And I feel like when you
Go,
say
go,
that,
go.
it's like you're not understanding your role as a man. When you believe in equality, it's like you're supposed to be the authority. And it's like if you believe you're the authority, it's like most relationships work when men are believed to be the prize. Because women are more likely to fall in line. I feel like it comes from equality and a lack of trust in men that leads to where we are now. Because most people believe in equality, and most women will not trust in a man for provisioning to a certain extent.
What's y'all thoughts on that one, Sean? You can go first.
I mean, me personally, I mean, like, I'm okay with the idea of a housewife. You feel me? I'm perfectly fine going to work every day. You feel me? But I think the role of a housewife it's definitely like strong. You feel me? Like, I really don't want to have to come home and do anything. You feel me? I really don't want to have to cook. Don't want to see no dishes in the sink.
Right.
I want the kids to be taken care of. You feel me?
But
And
this
it's
is
like, with all that being said, you feel me? It's like it sounds fucked up when you say it like
It
that.
don't, because like you got to remember, the goal is to have a successful family. So if you busting your ass all day and you bringing that bread and you doing what you got to do to provide, you're doing what you got to do to be a good role model and raise your kids, it's not wrong to expect those things. As you as the leader, and this is where the issue becomes, right? Like to word it this way: if you're the leader, you're ahead of everybody. Think about it. Like think about it like on some like fucking Mighty Ducks type shit. I barely remember that movie. It's been a minute since I've seen it. But I remember they had the flying V, right? Most of the time, I believe, I could be wrong, but for my analogy here, you got the leader that's at the point of the V. You got people behind him. He lead the way. He the first to contact. He the first to do everything. He's the leader. Everybody else is behind him. What he does affects what everybody else has to go through. How they support him from behind affects the success of the entire group. as the leader of the household, you are at the center of that V. Your woman is behind you. It's that simple. It might sound bad because we say 50-50, so you think right beside me. No, it's nothing wrong with that. You take on the blunt force. You take on the brutal.
I just feel weird saying it.
I know because society
it's
has
like,
That's
it's
society,
like,
bro.
It's like
Mr. Smith.
It's like sit home, take care of the kids, clean everything.
Is that a lot to ask?
I feel like that's 50-50. Taking care of kids is a lot.
No, it is. See, and I'm glad you, Twan, you got me. I'm glad you said that. Personally, I agree with you.
That's a
But
lot.
I've heard the argument where I also agree with, because I agree with what I believe you to mean by saying. I look at it as a woman has a woman's job, a man has a man's job. We come together, we become successful if we do our jobs. Within that mentality, sure, it's 50-50.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
But when we talk about the amount of effort and energy it takes to provide for each side, I've heard the argument that it takes more for a man to be a man than it takes a woman to be a woman.
Look, and I'm on your side because I'm like, to stay home and raise kids.
Yeah.
That is
That it gotta be 50.
lot,
That
right.
gotta be
But no,
50-50.
and that's why I said
know
I
damn
agree.
well if I go to work and I have a good day at work, you feel me? I get everything done. My boss didn't come in today. That dickhead that be snitching ain't there. You feel me? They ordered pizza. I had a good day. I know damn well no matter how good of a day I had, those kids drove you crazy. I know no matter
all day.
what
facts.
happened,
Yeah.
I know damn well them kids drove you crazy. I know
And I'm
them
with
kids drove you
Yo,
crazy.
I'm
That
with you.
schedule drove you crazy. Them dogs drove you
Listen,
crazy.
Here's how I view it, right? I feel like when niggas say equality, I feel like men and women are equal, but they're complementary. We're complementary to a point where each side is just as important as the other side. We're not equal, we're complementary. We help each other. We buff our faults.
See, look, sometimes I think, and I think personally, staying home with kids, I feel like if I stayed home with kids and my girl went to work, I would have the argument that I did more work.
See, no, here's the thing.
I think
right?
I'd be like, do you know how hard it is to make dinner, watch your kids,
hold on. All right,
have
hold on,
them
bro.
motherfuckers clean?
Real quick, before we get into the closing points, right? Okay. Those are two different things. The reason I say that is because, again, in the same way men have certain natural advantages, females have certain natural advantages. We both work hard. And we both have certain talents. In the same way, when you look at the education system, most teachers are female. Why? Because females tend to be better teachers, better nurturers, better with children. You look at more hardworking physical labor jobs, most of them tend to be men because men are better at being physical, exerting energy, getting violent, getting aggressive, muscly shit. That is what it is. So when you as a man say, hey, I don't think this job as a female, or you think, I think I wouldn't be able to do this job if I were a woman. It's hard for you to say that because you're not a woman. In the same way, for a woman to say, I would do this job if I were a man, it's hard to say that because you're not a man. Now, we could discuss it to kind of get either side, but when we just look at the pure facts of just life, history, data, statistics, women tend to go for more nurturing jobs, more social jobs, more empathetic, emotional jobs. Men tend to go for more technical shit, math, science, engineering. People want to be physical. You want to bang a nail with a hammer into a fucking railroad or some shit. You want to work with metal and steel and sweat. Like men tend to be naturally inclined to do those jobs. So when you look at how much work that you have to put in versus your woman, we look at it differently. We might both underestimate how hard it is for either side, but then the overall thing, right? The overall thing with that is that you got to know that you have a job to do. You can't get... What's up, Tony? You got something?
No, I was gonna kind of sum it up because it's like each other. Like when women are more inclined and more built to deal with this job, as opposed to men are built to do with this job. So when we were do each other's roles, it's like, this is very ass. I don't want to do this.
The thing is that if it comes natural for us to work, if it comes natural for a woman to take care of kids,
Yeah.
are we not both doing what comes natural? So is that not 50-50?
Well, see, but that was where I was trying to get into my overall point. The reason I say it's not 50-50 is because I would say, based on all that, the job of the man outside of giving birth is more life-threatening most of the time. And that's why I say it's not 50-50. In the same way, like I probably brought this up in prior podcasts, like let's say if we're in some old world, no technology, some foreign ships pull up to the shore, who's going to pull up with the shields and swords? Men. Who's going to stay home, take care of the kids? Women. We're both naturally more inclined to do the jobs that I just said, and we're both naturally better at doing those jobs.
At that point, I think we have an understanding.
But at that point, which job is more risky? Staying home with the children or shield and sword at the shore?
I mean, but like, you got to think of where it begins.
Well,
it
no,
begins on the pregnancy.
But you got to no. But
You feel me?
That's another conversation. My point being, if we're talking about sustaining the relationship, you have the man and a woman. They're 50% of each side. If the woman leaves, there's no relationship. If the man leaves, there's no relationship. It's 50-50 in that sense. When we talk about maintaining the relationship, the expectations of either side is not 50-50. That's what I'm trying to say. When the burglar pulls up, you're expected to hop out of bed and handle that shit, not your woman.
Okay,
When shit get rough, you like on the worst of worst, you got kids and you and your wife both lose y'all jobs. You a bum, nigga. Go get a knife, go into the woods, come back. Nigga, that's your job. So is it really 50-50 then? Nah, like it's up to you. You have a majority of the work. Like, you have to make sure this is good. If you're by yourself, you're by yourself. If you're a homeless nigga in the woods eating deer that you cut their throat, like, nobody gives a fuck about you. You just gonna have to make it for yourself. If a woman was in that same position and she was attractive, she can get a nigga to just put her in a fucking mansion.
You know what?
Like,
I've
it's
never
two
thought
different
about
things.
it like that.
It takes more from the man.
Like
the man,
that.
it's not 50-50. It's not equal. I have to put in more work to make this. Even for you to want to be with me, I have to put in more work. Like, it's just that simple. Like, it's not 50-50. And you like that. You don't want it to be 50-50. It would be 0-100 if I had 100. And there's nothing wrong with that. I would give 100 if I could.
Man.
Yo,
It's
now
just-
that
that's
you
Wait,
just-
hold
just
on.
said that,
I don't know.
Let's get it.
I don't know, because even if I'm by myself, I still like the thrill of doing shit by myself. Like, I don't know what y'all are talking about. Like,
No, I'm
like,
talking about as a man,
like,
you can't have a family by
I'm
yourself.
saying, no. I'm not saying with family or anything. I'm saying like on terms of like fighting or whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
your
you
bitch
never-
ain't gonna fight with you, bro. Like, you
Bro,
gonna fight for
hold
the
on.
man.
I'm saying on the male
I want a
aspect.
rebuttal.
I'm saying on the male aspect.
Uh-huh.
You can't say you never been in a fight and say, "Oh yeah, I like this shit." Like, bro, for real, I really like
disagree.
fighting on some shit.
You ain't never like- you
like
ain't-
fighting, bro.
Yeah, I like fighting.
Yo,
You-
I know
you
you
like
like
fighting?
fighting.
Yeah.
Bro,
I did
when
that
you
shit.
in a fucking moment, bro, I'm
love
trying to
choking
tell
a
you.
nigga out,
I'm trying
fucking
to tell
getting
you.
the
So
arm
when it's a robbery, bro, you got guns. I know that, and you trying to get a gun. Me, y'all know I love guns.
Yeah.
So us out three, and me and you, we talked about getting guns.
Yeah.
So us four, we just gonna hop out. You feel me? If we gonna hear some shit, we gonna grab a gun. Come on now.
Yeah. I feel
it's
like-
within our nature. It's not. It doesn't depend on family or whatever.
Right.
On that, I just say it depends on nature.
But that's
as
the
within
protective.
male's nature.
That's the protective instincts you talking about, and like the guns is just the most extreme form of violence we have right now. But before it was our fists. So like the idea of fighting, that's the most primal thing. And as a man, when you beat another man in physical combat, there's a certain good feeling that you get from that. Because back
Nigga,
in the day, that would have been a.
Have
fight
you
for your
ever?
life.
Have you ever got a new gun? Have you ever got a new gun? My
That's
nigga?
like getting a new buff
Bro,
arm.
when I got my Glock, my
punch a hole in
nigga,
the
first
nigga.
thing I did after I got my Glock, I was at work, right? I was like, you know what? I want to bust this bitch. I went straight out after work, pulled the block, and
Don't say
Bro,
where. Don't get.
I'm not,
details
bro.
about where
But
you did
fucking
what.
little back block, straight pulled that bitch. Fuck you talking about what? Straight after work, what?
I used to take people on drive-bys to shoot a gun for their first time.
Yeah, you did that
Bro.
with me, nigga.
You ever got a new?
Joke about
See
that.
that?
You ever got a new gun, bro?
But hold up. But the whole point of
Come on
guns,
now.
the whole point of bringing up guns is to understand that guns are just a form of defense that we have. It's a form of offense that we have. It's just a tool. A gun is the old sword. It's a bow and arrow on steroids with rocket power. Like it just is what it is. So men have always used violence in order to feel superior. And
I feel like
prove
it comes
dominance.
down to like
Yeah.
it's a man's natural instinct to chase success. Like a man could be fulfilled in his life if he never had a family, but he ended up successful. And part of shooting shit and fighting, you win, you're successful. In a certain aspect, you're the strongest. I'm the best. It's just men are naturally inclined to be better.
Yeah.
And women are attracted to that natural inclination.
Right.
That's why women like men that are stronger than them.
And ambitious.
But it's like that's just a different form of strength.
Right.
It's just like a different form of success. And you being ambitious, it shows that you want more, that you have that drive.
Yeah. And that's what it comes down to. Like, I feel like it's so much within that. Like, one, I'll say this. The biological clock is really just a social construct, whereas I feel like naturally, if a woman sees a guy that she views as high value, she'll know whether or not she wants to have his baby. It's that simple. Like if you're high enough value and she thinks that you can really support her and you're a good dude and she fucks with you, she'll probably want your baby if you're the right dude. If you're not, you're not. The biological clock is really just saying she ain't ever find that dude, and maybe she did find that dude, but she thought somebody else might be better, so she moved on, and eventually she's not finding no better, so she's just trying to find something.
I feel like that
And
goes
that's all
into
the
like the
biological
societal myth. It's like that you have time. It's like women are taught that you can do this and you can have babies whenever you want. It's not going with nature or like the biological clock in society is a lie opposed to the natural biological clock that women have. They're going over this false biological clock thinking,
I want your thoughts on it.
I could finish my PhD. I could do this, do that, do this, that, and the third. And then when I'm ready, fuck it, I can have it.
Yeah.
I met the right man at 32, 33. I'm good now. When naturally or in reality, that's not the case.
30%.
Or that's not most successful, we should say. What's your thoughts on that?
I really feel like having kids and relationships and men and like our interactions with men are romanticized anyway, like through media and
Yeah.
the movies and stuff like that. So I feel like that plays a part in it too.
Bars.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. See,
Super influential. Gotta get out of that. Yeah.
for real. It's like, one, the biological clock, social construct, and then as far as having game and understanding what it means to have game, what it means to be healthy and physically attractive, what it means to be financially stable. These are things that we got to look into and things that we need to focus on. We need to become better. We need to become well-rounded, gain new experiences, and become higher value. Don't just be somebody who's just bitter about shit. Figure out how to get better.
Yeah.
Don't get better, get better. I always say that shit. Like, I really got to make a t-shirt. Like, don't get better, get better.
Get better.
And the better you get, the better your options is going to be.
I heard that shit on Jersey Shore.
What, don't get better, get better?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even remember that from that, but then fuck
Well,
them.
not Jersey Shore,
copy
but
that.
like Paulie D and Vinny Dayton show.
But yeah,
That shit was crazy.
Yes, sir.
it's like, don't get better, get better.
Get-
And it is what it is, right? I feel like the more we learn, especially men, because I feel like the issue is, since women have the opportunity to gain more experience, that is why we look at women and say they're more mature than men, you know? Just because naturally men are going to want them, where men have to earn women's desires. So if a woman is getting desires from men earlier, she's going to understand men earlier. Whereas men have to go through other things in life in order to get the opportunity to be around women to learn them. And that's where it becomes complicated, right? Because if a man doesn't learn women, he doesn't know how to interact with a woman. He doesn't know what turns them on, turns them off, how to keep them around, how he can be himself while still being able to keep the things he wants. So we have these talks so people can understand it. So specifically, men can understand it. What is it that women think? What is it that most men feel? Are you wrong for feeling the way you feel? Are you off when you have certain thoughts or opinions? Or what are you straight on the mark with? And society is just trying to shame you with. Like, I feel like that's one of the goals of having this, right? So what's y'all closing thoughts? Starting off with you, Big Sean.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, yo. When you broke it down to the point of, like, it's not really 50-50, I really had to take a step back. You feel me? I've always thought staying home, taking care of the kids, making sure everything okay at home. I was like, damn, like, I know for a fact that's a hard-ass job. But, you feel me? That,
I mean, it's 50%. A woman is putting 50% of success into the relationship. Yeah. She's not putting 50% of the work. It's two different things.
Yeah. It's not like, it's not that as hard as, it's the safest job. It's the safest job.
Go home and tell my girl, yo, look, you gotta listen to what Big G said on this damn show, man. I'll be like, man, this motherfucker crazy. Yo, he just changed your mind. I'm gonna tell her that before she watch it. But
no, I feel like if she was here, and I want to get her on too, I feel like if she was here, she would agree. And based on just me being around her and being around you, I understand why.
Come around more, nigga.
You do. But,
man.
Once you start to understand and you become RP aware, everything makes so much sense.
I need y'all to know I am a provider. I can't come around. I be at work.
No, Sean.
niggas not saying that.
Me knowing you, I understand you to be hardworking. I understand you to be ambitious. I understand you to have experience and be able to talk. So when you tell me that you have a woman in your life, I understand it because I know you know how to speak to women, and I know a woman can see how ambitious and how hard you work and be attracted to you. I get it. So when you get into a relationship, I understand it. The next question is, what does she do for you? So if you tell me she does certain things for you that make you happy, she's there for you when you in your weaker moments. If you're able to provide and do all these different things and prove that you are who she believes you to be, and she's everything you need her to be, it makes sense to me how your relationship could last long term. So like once you just start to look at the details of how people are, how you move, how you met, all these different things, I'm at a point now where I'm like, yo, I see a couple, I know if they're gonna last or not. It's like, but it's like if I'm like, yo, they not gonna last, they probably not gonna last. And if I think they're gonna last, that's not even 100%. It's just like I'm making a educated assumption. That's really all it is. But you can see certain things.
What you think?
With y'all, I feel like as long as you do what you're supposed to do, yeah, y'all could last. Yeah. Because I like looking at her, like I know she's into you, and like when we get there's other reasons I could verbalize, but I won't. But the whole point being is that y'all are good. If y'all happy together, if y'all at a place in your life right now where you cool, I would tell you make more money and be able to have kids within the next 3 years.
3 years, my girl 30.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said 3. I'm trying to stop.
Yeah.
But then when I look at my mom had me a little bit later. I think my mom was in her 30s when she had me. I'm not 100% sure.
My mom was 16 when she had me.
Okay. That nigga must have been a boss ass nigga for her to actually fuck with him like that.
That nigga was 16. Hey, all I can say is shit happens.
That's what we understand what attracts each other. Because if you're a teenage girl, it could be the captain of the football team, and when you're a fucking adult, it could be the CEO of the company, or it could be Drake. Look, women are attracted to high value men, and when you're a little kid, as a dude, he's just way less picky. We're just horny little fucks. It's like you'll fuck the cute nerd girl, you'll fuck the medium nerd girl, you'll fuck the cheerleader if you could. You'll do whatever you can, you will. Whereas women are always at the top. It's always going to be that either the smartest.
They wait at the finish line.
How do you feel about that statement? Hold on, and this is real.
Damn.
Twan, no, but look,
that's
I don't
dead
shame
ass.
women for that.
That is
He
dead
says-
ass.
He says women,
That is
women,
dead ass.
sounds
women don't
bad,
run with
like,
you.
it sounds
Women don't
so
run with you.
bad.
They wait at the finish line. I look at it like, well, yeah, because at the end of the day, men run faster. So a woman is going to need somebody who can fucking do what needs to be done. The world is rough. If you got a bunch of men, we're going to fight each other. If you got a bunch of women, all the men can fuck up the women. The women need to find a man that can fight for them. Period. If you are a woman, you're not going to even focus on working the race. I mean, society is telling us to now. We're telling everybody, like, all these women, they need to get a job and make money. But naturally, you're just going to go for the top. If you're in high school, you're going to go for the most attractive guy, the football, basketball team, whatever the fuck. You're going to go for the best you can get.
What about okay?
But
So
hold on. Like, you might verbalize it as waiting at the finish line, which I agree with, but I don't look at that as negative. I look at that as a fact of life. It's not to shame women and say, yo, you don't give a shit about us. You just going for the best. No. It's that she doesn't give a shit about you unless she perceives you as the best. And the question that you should ask yourself after is, why should she give a shit about you if you're not the best? Sure, as a human being, she's not going to just treat you like a piece of shit. But if you're not the best, why should she want you? Why should you expect a woman if you are not at the top of your game? Why are you going to shame a woman for waiting at the finish line when you was just mad you lost the race?
all right, G, I got a question. Okay.
Like, it's just that simple.
Gee,
If
the
you-
factory.
If you cross that fucking little piece of tape first,
This
you
nigga
done had your
spitting.
pick. Don't be
Bars.
mad you lost the race and you was like, yo, you just waiting at the finish line. Nigga, yeah. What's wrong with that? And but before we get to, I want your opinion on that because that's my thoughts on it. It's nothing wrong with waiting at the finish line. That's just nature. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, that just went into like 12 different directions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of agree with y'all, like, you know, but
You don't want to because it sounds bad. Like
it is bad.
The way they say
It might
sounds
sound bad, but it's not bad. It's nature. It's like, don't get bitter, get better. Understand understand it and move accordingly.
All right, so look,
The more attractive girl that you want, the farther you gotta run,
All right, so,
bro.
okay, so does profit outweigh emotion? What I mean does that was by
I feel like profit influences emotions.
Say a girl is attracted to, let's say I make more money than you.
Okay.
You feel me? We're both cool dudes. You'll emotionally understand her
Talk to the
far. You'll emotionally understand this female far more than I ever will. I can openly say that.
Okay.
But I make more money.
Okay.
Which one wins?
Who's more attractive?
I mean, let's say we're at the same level, 50-50.
So we're both the same level of attractiveness.
Yeah.
Okay, after attractiveness, we both had the same level of game.
What's the difference in money?
Well, no,
What's the difference?
Hold up, listen.
money?
I said that because you brought up game, and I would assume from the question that he has more game
No, he said
than him.
same. He said 50-50 with everything except finances.
No,
right?
it's like
50-50 with everything except finances.
Yeah.
And the only way-
except the fact that you'll be calmer understanding her
Yeah.
emotion.
We both had the same amount of game.
And I feel like, hold up,
Yeah.
though understanding emotionally means he has more game than you do.
I mean, you gotta think the nigga that
yeah.
got more money is fucking the same amount of bitches.
No, what I'm saying is that's why I said what is the difference in
depends
money?
It all depends
What is
on,
that's why I said
the
no.
game is getting the female to the bed. It don't matter how you get the female to the bed. Every hunter has his bait. You feel me?
Fact.
It don't matter if you're using emotional lures out here trapping these niggas at pheromones, or if you're using meat out here throwing money in the
Right,
trap.
right.
You feel
Yeah.
me? Every hunter has his bait. That's the game.
Yeah, continue.
So what I'm wondering is, which one is better?
Well, here's the whole thing, right? You can't necessarily look at it in a complete way as far as like, yo, you're using bait to get a woman, right? I agree to what he said. I feel like a man's job is getting a woman in the bed. If you do that, then you got her. If a woman is willing to have sex with a man, there's a certain amount of expectations and things that she wants from the man. If the woman is able to keep the man after she provides sex, that shows how much she provides to that man outside of sex. Every man is going to want sex. So if you have sex with a man, that doesn't mean he wants you. He's just being a man. He wanted sex. If he has sex with you, and you know he has sex with you and he's still with you, he's not with you for the sex. The man is going to want... Well, let me add on to that. Lower value men who don't have options and don't have access to other pussy will stay with a woman just for sex. But if you are a higher value man, if you know that, yo, I literally, you're not trying to fuck right now, yo, let me call Susan. Let me call Maria. Let me call Chun-Li. I'm not saying that a man will actually cheat on you, but I'm saying if you know that there are other women that's on his dick, you might look at it a little bit different. I'm not, because you might know your man is just loyal, but you understand that that man has options. When a man has options, it shows that he's a little bit higher value. It's understanding why we do what we do. If your woman is doing what she needs to do, the man ain't worried about shit. He just gonna be with her. And then vice versa for the woman. If the man has more money, that doesn't necessarily mean everything. That don't mean she just gonna leave you, cheat on you, do whatever. It's like that makes women sound like when we say gold diggers, all women.
There's
Let
a
me
difference.
preface this.
I was about to say there's a difference.
I'm gonna make a statement. I'm gonna make a statement, and then I'm gonna clarify.
It just sounded fucked up.
Yeah, look,
No,
right
look,
there,
look,
right there.
I will go as
There was
far
a
as
big
to say-
pause at the beginning
But
there.
it's to understand what I mean, because when I speak on men and women, I'm not trying to disrespect either. Even when I talk shit, it's for the betterment and for the understanding. It's not to get bitter, to resent.
He just says it in a more blunt way. It's in a
Yeah.
more blunt fashion.
If I were to say all women are gold diggers, most people would be like, "What do you mean? I just want him for his money and blah 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 blah." No. I do believe all women are gold diggers, but that no.
Hey, yo.
You about to go into another pod.
No, but
You about to go into
you
another.
gotta understand what I mean. You gotta understand what I mean by that.
Oh
You gotta understand what
my
I mean by
God.
that. Because when I say all women are gold diggers, it's the same way that all men are sex obsessed. A lot of men might not like that I said that.
Damn.
It's like we need to understand. We need to understand.
But
So when I say a gold digger,
Nymphomaniacs.
I'm not saying that a woman is just going to be with you for the money. She might be with you because you look good. She might be with you because you could talk. She might be with you because you could provide. Majority of the times, it's going to be one of those three or a combination. Is she a gold digger for that? No. But another nigga might be like, oh, you just want me because I look good. Looking good is the gold. You might want me because I know how to talk. Knowing how to talk is the gold. You might be with me because I want the money. The money is the gold. But most of the time, the money is all niggas think about when I say gold. No.
And I feel like that comes from the conditioning of unconditional.
so what
love.
you're saying to my question is it depends on the female.
Well, no. Well, because I feel like all females are going to want a combination of those three things. They're going to want you to look good. They're going to want you to have game and be able to talk to them and actually like capture their mind, not just, but like, because women don't look at shit the same way men do. You could be walking down Walmart, see a girl that look good, you thinking about fucking. A woman doesn't really think about fucking until she exchanges words with you and then decides if she wants to fuck or not. So it's just not the same there.
Bet.
Women are going to be gold diggers and
Listen.
men are going to be sex obsessed. And when we get past that shit is when we see. If
I mean,
a woman-
I think each gender sees at least one person. You just look at him and you be like, yeah, I did that.
No,
feel me?
but it's different because it's our reasoning for it. I'll close off by saying this, right? It comes down to this. What is it that a man provides? What is it that a woman is going to want within you? And then you could work around the whole biological clock, plus you work around having game. For women, what is it that you really want? If you're able to look past society, if you're able to decide, hey, I like this man, I want to build him up. Because a man, you can't really build a man up. It's up to the man to do it. But if you see a man and you have that desire, like I'm willing to help him grow and be there and believe in him, that is going to be the way towards true success. Mm-hmm. If you're able to find that guy that's worth it, then do what you got to do. Don't keep trying different flavors forever.
Yep.
Men, focus on yourself and your grind, and you will become worthy of the women you want. But stop trying to get with women when you ain't shit.
Not even be worthy,
100%.
but just attract the woman that you want.
Yeah, no, it's
100%.
worthy. Worthy in attraction. Like, you're not going to attract somebody you're not worthy of.
Yeah.
It's like you got to be worthy of it, at which point you have the option.
We're the prize. You're not worthy. You just ready.
I mean, if you want to word it that way.
I would like to word it that way. I don't like that one.
It doesn't-
You're just ready, bro. You're just ready to play in this league.
Mm.
I feel-
It's G League versus NBA. You can play on NBA level now.
So,
At this point, be a star or be a bum. Fuck it.
but
That's my understatement.
I feel like this was another good one. Like I said, it's the big cat, no bullshit, just conversations about passions, philosophies, and perspective. We'll be back at you with another one. Like, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend.
Like the video, bitches.
Yeah,
Comment.
stop
Don't. Yeah, stop playing.
Real shit.
Stop playing.
But we gonna be back at you with another one.
I know who watch. Stop playing.
Deuces.
Peace.